Good evening for you. Good morning for me. How are you today?
Good morning, good evening. I'm super excited and happy to be speaking with you. How's your morning coming along?
Absolutely great. It's all the better for speaking with you, and thank you for having me on your program. I really appreciate it. But it's been a great morning.
Happy New Year first.
Thank you. Happy New Year as well. And the last time I was in Mumbai was May, and it was pretty warm. It was 100, 105 Fahrenheit, which is it's still cooler than Scottsdale during the summer, but it was pretty warm.
Well, Mumbai is warm, and we were in Goa. We were like, oh, this is hot. But yeah, Mumbai can be super hot. So on that Happy New Year note, I'd love to find out how the new year is coming along for you, your plans for 2024. Let's hear it all.
So, for us, at Adamas, the new year really holds a lot in store for us. Last year was our first year listed on NASDAQ. Trading symbol was JUL, JWL. And it was 23 was an interesting year. For us, it was growing as a company, planting a lot of seeds, so we know that we can harvest those growth in 2024 and 25. So we have a very aggressive schedule for 24. Our goal is to become the most vertically integrated lab-grown diamond company in the world and the largest lab-grown diamond company in America. So we have a lot on our plate to make that come a reality. We've targeted 2 acquisitions. One is our cut and polisher out of India, right? And then one is a distribution company in America. So that's an integral part for us to complete our ecosystem. So we're very excited about those first 2 acquisitions. We launched our first jewelry line, which is a high-end luxury lab-grown diamond brand called El Jolie. We're looking to launch that most likely mid Q2, early Q2. We've done about 200 designs for the line so far. We hired one of the main designers for Cartier and Louis Vuitton, came in, designed our jewelry. We manufacture that in America. We're really, really excited about that. Our jewelry, we have some pieces here, is really, really astonishing. And then, obviously we put out a release, so we're looking to get into the technical sector. We know the lab-grown diamonds have a lot of diversity and they can apply themselves to a lot of different applications. Everyone knows that diamonds are the hardest substance on earth. What a lot of people don't know is that diamonds are also the #1 thermal conductor. When you start talking semiconductors, supercomputers, quantum computers, now lab-grown diamonds have great applications for that. First as a thermal conductor, and then we'll look at working on creating semiconductors and computer chips out of diamonds. So we have a pretty aggressive game plan for 2024, to say the least. So who needs sleep?
Oh, yeah. Who needs sleep? You said it. You know what? You answered 4 questions already. Come on. I was wanting to ask you about the 2 acquisitions, the jewelry line, and of course, Semiconductors, the plans that you had back then in August and how it panned out, to maybe bifurcate about the Semiconductors as well.
Sure, absolutely. When we talk about being a full breadth and a full company in the lab-grown diamond sector. So, obviously we hold all the base patents. We have 36 patents, so our portfolio is very robust. It's robust in the process that we grow in for CVD. We grow in very different processes than pretty much everyone else in the world. It gives us some competitive advantage. And when we start talking about semiconductors, we have a lot of advantages through how we actually grow our diamond substrates. So we look to aggressively go in that. We've been doing testing on our diamonds for just over a year, almost a year and a half, in direct relation to how they're going to work for a thermal coupler in the semiconductor industry. So we've done the phonon test, the nuclear test, everything from A to Z, to see how our diamonds from Adamas react. Other CVD diamonds or HPHC, obviously, I don't know what the reactions are or how they are as thermocoupler. We know specifically what we do and what our tests are, and we're really, really happy with the results from our tests. Jerry McGuire, who's our COO at Adamas, Jerry was a 23-year C-level executive at Analog Chip. We have a pretty good foot in the door, I think, for the semiconductor space. So we want to make sure that we are in the forefront and the forerunner for lab-grown diamonds when it comes to jewelry and the diamond jewelry industry, right? So we want to make sure that we're the forefront. We set the tone and the pace for others to follow, whether it's ESG, making sure we have little to no carbon footprint, labor practices. We're a US-based company, so we want to make sure, the child labor laws, we don't have to worry about that. So we're very, very aggressive as far as we want to make sure that we're the good housekeeping seal of approval when it comes to lab-grown diamonds. When someone goes to Adamas, they go, oh, We know they have a nuclear energy source, so they have almost no carbon footprint in their manufacturing. They recirculate their water, so they don't even burn 18 gallons of water a year. Their employees are very happy, well treated. So we want to make sure that we're that company that everyone looks at and goes, they set the bar and the tone for everybody else to follow. And I think that's important. And then in parallel, just the same, we want to make sure we're the leaders when it comes to technology. We want to make sure that we're in the forefront of the technology race and make sure that we're doing our best to improve the quality of mankind from a technology standpoint. And that's really our goal. When we look at the two acquisitions, the biggest lead time we had was cut and polish, right? So by the time we send them to India, get our turnaround, we're a smaller company, so we're not on the priority scale. We want to make sure that we have a quick turnaround and we still cut the best quality gems in the marketplace. The group that we're acquiring is by far the best in the marketplace from a cut and polish standpoint. And we're very excited about getting into business with them and continuing growing the company from there.
The patented technologies, proprietary technologies, anything that we haven't heard so far anywhere else in the media or even in journals, something unique. Never said before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the patent portfolio that we acquired in 2019 was a patent portfolio developed by Dr. Linares. And if you look up, Dr. Linares and the start and the birthing of the CVD process to manufacture lab-grown diamonds, he's the creator, right? He was the one in early 1990 said, I think I can turn carbon-rich gas into a diamond. And he did it, which is pretty amazing. Because at that point, CVD was frequently used in the semiconductor industry, right? But no one had ever thought about maybe we can do this process and grow not just a diamond film, but a true diamond all the way up. And he created the process and he built a patent portfolio around that to secure and Teflon in the company at that time. And he was very smart about it. And then he went in to extend that patent portfolio beyond just the growing of diamonds through CVD, through the testing of diamonds, whether it is a CVD product or a mine diamond, right? So he created products around that. He created mosaic. So when you want to make a larger diamond, right, you're going to take the seeds and mosaic them together. Well, we own the patent for the mosaic, so it gives us a great advantage. As well as he created a process on how we grow our diamonds and the alignment, molecular alignment, that gives us a very large advantage when it comes to technology sector. And I'll leave it at that. But we're very fortunate, in the patent portfolio. And for us, it's like, look, everybody's infringing on our base patents. Anyone that's growing anything over 20 microns thick in diamond is infringing on it. But I'm not litigious. I'm not going after one. It is what it is. I mean, we created the process, or not we, Dr. Linares did, and we acquired it. So we just want to make sure that we continue our R&D efforts, which we do, and really aggressively make sure that we're constantly bettering our process, whether it's increasing the colors of our diamonds, making a brighter white diamond, DEF is where we are right now, a higher clarity, larger stones, right, with the higher clarity as well. We grow in one layer where everyone does multiple layers to get a larger diamond. We can grow it in one session, make use of, more efficient use of our electricity and power when we're manufacturing, and a greater output capacity. So allow larger seeds, larger plates to grow on. So we always want to make sure we're bettering what we do and making it more affordable to the marketplace as well. And that's kind of our mindset on everything.
Brilliant. Your thoughts about overproduction and declining prices, the ongoing debate. I would love to know your thoughts on that.
When we talk about, lab-grown diamond industry, the big outward adversity always from the mine diamond is, they can just produce as many as they want and there's no limitation on it, and they're going to destroy the diamond market because it's supply and demand. The greater the supply, demand, the lower the pricing starts going. We know that currently right now when you talk about commercial manufacturers, when I say commercial, they have the output capacity, a large capacity. Those commercial manufacturers grow rough to order and they sell the rough. That's all they do, right? They're happy with their profit. So we know what those base costs are for the average person buying at that level. Then the cut and polish, what it costs cut and polish, certify them, and then distribution and where the profit margins are. So we look at where that pricing structure goes because it costs so much to grow, right? Your costs are your costs. right? And every step of the way has a different cost scenario. So I believe right now we're probably pretty close to the bottom of what the pricing structure is going to be on lab grown. And I think over the course of this next year, you'll see the pricing start to increase gradually, right? And the prices will increase where there's more of a demand and less of a saturation. So if you see currently an HIJ color diamond, well, of course the price is going down because the market shifted from people being able to produce, hardly anyone producing G or better, so it was GHIJ, that's all there was in the market. Well, now it's shifted to more DEFG color stones. So these guys that are producing this, which is the majority of the market, don't really have a demand for them because everyone wants the whiter diamonds right now. So this you're going to see is going down in pricing structure where these are stable, or you're actually starting to see them increasing, as well as the size of the diamonds increasing as well. So we look at a lot of different variables that add to the pricing. I don't think you're going to see a ton of different companies coming in. I think that gold rush of smaller guys coming in going, I have a grower, or I have 10 growers or 20, they realized that the profit margins weren't as great as they originally thought, right? So a lot of them sold out their inventory and they bargained it out just to get out of it, right? And now they're selling their growers, and they're kind of backing out of trying to sell diamonds for a handful of reasons, right? The profit margins weren't as great. They didn't have the technology to do a DEFG color, a G+. There's a lot of technology. I mean, if you talk about the difficulty in growing a D color diamond, if you know just the base of a D color diamond to a J, which is colorless to starting to get pretty yellow, when it comes to your process and your mixture for your recipe, it's less than 1/1,000,000th of a part of nitrogen takes it from a D to a J, right? So your accuracy, the technology needed, it's a very large inhibitor for people coming into the space. Right now, from a commercial grower standpoint, there's basically right around 20 commercial growers in the whole world. So everyone's always, well, they're going to come on, there's a massively grow. There's a limitation, you can only grow so much. It takes a long time to build out a reactor. It's not like I can click my finger and go, oh, we just bought 100 reactors. It doesn't exist like that. So it's a slow growth process. And I can invariably say the same thing. Anyone pretty much eventually grab a pickaxe and a shovel and find a diamond, a mine diamond, right? It's what's the limitation for everybody on the planet going and digging holes to find mine diamonds? Same thing. So there's always inherent limitations. So I'm not really worried about so much of overproduction to drive the prices down. There's more of a worry of people in the current marketplace just keep discounting their product, but they don't have to. And it's a race to the bottom. So the biggest fear is not overproduction. The biggest fear is people keep trying to let's say, hypothetically, it's sold for $100. Well, this guy, I'm going to charge 90, I'm going to charge 80, I'm going to charge 70. Everyone, it's a race to the bottom. And that's dangerous for any industry, no matter what it is.
And what's your advice to others who are playing from the fear mentality and are probably, maybe you can see, predict, or assess by the data that they are probably going down? Any advice that you'd like to share with them?
I mean, the fear mentality, that's prevalent in everywhere. No matter what the company is or category, it's always a fear-based mentality. And that's kind of what the world's kind of established on right now, which is sad. But we look at, it's every business has its challenges, and you have to be able to withstand the downtimes and appreciate and learn and adjust to get back up to the uptimes. So there's always challenges and adversity you're going to face. So if you're in it, give it everything you can. Try as hard as you can, and be steadfast in your pricing, right? Say, look, this is where my margins are going to be. And for us, we do extremely high quality stones, right? Our cut and polish, through our group is very high. So we put pride into ourselves. If we look at the jewelry that we manufacture, we set the tone and the pace of this is a luxury item. I'm not in the bargain to sell a super high quality item for cheap, right? Ferrari is established at our MSRP, a price for their cars. I'm not selling them down here just because I need quick cash on it. We establish and we maintain it. So hold fast to your pricing, right? Don't cave in and race to the bottom. Then your fears come a reality, right? And that's by your own doing, because once you drop, everyone keeps dropping, and it's a race to the bottom is never a good ending for any industry. So we want to make sure that we prevent that from happening. We group together, as an industry and go, look, here's our pricing model. We're going to hold true to that. And then we want to make sure, like I said, that we step our foot forward, because if we're saying that we're eco-friendly and social-friendly, you better be, right? And do what's right and be an eco-friendly and a social-friendly company and follow true to that pattern in that suit. I think it's important.
Whoa, 2 questions pop up. I'll ask both and you can choose which one to answer first. You said as an industry, we group together. So what are your thoughts about the associations and organizations? Would you be wanting to probably lead an association or organization? That's one, your thoughts about organizations. And secondly, we spoke about luxury jewelry. What are you planning to do in terms of consumer education and the steps and strategies that you have for this year and beyond for consumer education?
Sure. So if we look at, the different associations out there, I think associations are great, right? If their intent is for the right purpose, right? Because if it's what we're going to do is for the whole industry as a whole, and we're going to group together, because there's always adversity. We know the adversity is only going to increase over time. We know in America that 55% of all loose diamond sales are lab-grown diamonds right now. That's a massive increase from 2019, which was less than 1% when I first came in this industry. So we know that there's outward adversity coming in. So we need to make sure that we pool together, we police within our own. Like I said, if we're saying we're a true ESG company, right, we want to make sure that we're as green as possible, that we're socially conscious about our work environment for our employees, etc. So we want to make sure that there's always going to be a couple bad apples in the bunch, but we want to make sure as a group that we police within, and then we set a price and a tone and a quality structure that everybody adheres to and follows. And I think that's important. We need to have a unified statement and mission statement that we go forward with outwardly to the public and the consumer. And just like you said, we talked about educating the consumer, as we can segue into the second part of the question. When you talk about educating the consumer, honesty is number one, right? If you have a post-treated diamond, you need to let the consumer know this is a post-treated diamond, right? So I think it's important. If it was a multi-layered diamond where you took it out and re-entered it in the growing chamber and regrow a larger diamond, that's something I think that's important to let the consumers know, right? Don't hide or lie about it, which 98% of the industry I think does. Be upfront and honest about it, and really work with the consumers to educate them. The outward adversity of, oh, it's a fake diamond or it's a synthetic. No. At Adamas, I know we grow a real diamond. Chemically, physically, optically identical. The only different, one comes out of the earth, one comes out of the safe environment we call a laboratory, right? So educating the consumer, we look at, when we talk about Dr. Linares in the early 90s, their job was to create awareness, right? Once you create awareness, and then you have to pay all the money to get people to go, lab-grown diamonds, what are they? And then you pay all the money to educate them. So we know from the 90s till 2024 right now, there's been a lot of money spent in educating the consumer, right? Now we need to fine-tune that education and get more acceptability into our industry, I think is very key and important. When we talk about El Jolie, right? El Jolie, we start as an e-commerce site. We do direct to consumer through the website, and then we'll start doing brick and mortars. And we want to do brick and mortars that obviously we think are in alignment with our brand, El Jolie, high end. And for us, it's a place where someone could go look and feel and really see the difference. Because if you looked at, let's say, a Cartier bangle, diamond bangle, US based prices for a diamond bangle is about $39,000, almost $40,000. If I looked at that and go, well, if I had to just make that bracelet in diamonds, even my diamonds and gold, my cost for the materials are probably $2,500, maybe $3,000 with labor included, $3,500. So you look at, they've established the quality of their product to be here. It's not what the inherent hard costs are for the product, but it's here. And when you go in and you see the look and feel of it, you're like, okay, the settings are perfect in the bracelet, right? Every stone is flawless in its setting, in its size, structure, everything's the same, uniformity, the fit and finish of it is perfect. when you see the quality, then you go, I can substantiate the pricing for the brand and the quality of it, right? If you look at, like, here's one of our necklaces. So this is a graduated necklace. Let me see if I can get it. Sorry, flopping around. So here's a graduated necklace. Center carat is about 2 carat center stone. All
Beautiful.
D colored diamonds, DE VVS2 plus. So if you looked at our setting in person, this is unbelievable. It's one of my favorite pieces to pull out and show people, because when you see it, it's just everyone's jaw drops. The reflection of light, every diamond has a perfect cut. The symmetry and proportions are perfect. You need to see and feel it versus going, well, I don't know if I can substantiate a price, but as soon as you go see in person, you're like, oh, that's totally worth it. We want to make sure that people have the chance to go in and see the quality of our stones in a brick and mortar setting, so they really understand. If you look at, like, here's a 10.2 carat cushion cut with a triple halo setting. This is one of our unique designs as well, but the quality of our settings, perfect. The quality of our stones and the cutting and polishing of it, perfect. We want to make sure that we set the tone and the pace as a true luxury item and follow suit and follow that throughout every piece that we offer to the marketplace. So we think it's important to have consumers touch and feel it. We'll have influencers wearing our products, and you'll start seeing that, Q2 of this year, you'll start seeing us really push the influencer marketplace to help support our brand and substantiate the quality of our products.
You said, right, we should have standard pricing. The way natural has been following a standard pricing, plus the ensuing ongoing battle between the natural and lab grown ensuing because of the pricing, probably without naming the person, you got the name. Your thoughts?
Everyone works off the rep report, right? We sell based off that at different percentages of a discount. You look at the percentages of it for a retail discount versus a percentage for wholesale and where you are in that wholesale chain. So there's always a discount to that. So we use that as a standard and a set. I think it's a great place to continue with, right? I don't like people selling, we're going to sell no matter what, as a carat for $800 or $500 or $1,000, no matter if it's 5 carats or 1 carat. That's disenchanting from an industry standpoint, and I don't think it's really helping everybody. So again, there's always been not price fixing, but more of controls within the category of diamond sales, whether it was De Beers or whomever. So I think you need to have comfort and a standard level of, here, these are where the base is. And you'll get, the industry's so new that it's all like this, right? Everyone's, I need to throw this. Eventually it's going to settle of, this is our standard and a norm, and this is the floor for these stones. And it's going to fluctuate from here to here to here. And that's just normal. It's such a new industry. We haven't gotten to that point of, okay, here's our floor, here's kind of the ceiling, and we're going to go in between here and kind of go like this. All the manufacturers and distributors. So I think we'll get there. We're not there. We're too young of an industry. Give us another 5 years and we'll have a big, right, here's where our settle and our base is. And then I think the market standards will be much more acceptable and everybody will be very happy within the industry, no matter where they are, whether it's a manufacturer of rough, a manufacturer of jewelry, a wholesaler of either or a direct-to-consumer model. So I think we're not there yet, but I think we will get there. And I think it's important to get there. And you look at Martin Rappaport, everyone who poo-poos on the industry, it only makes them look worse. It's like, look, I love the fine diamond industry. I'm not going to sit there and I don't try to take food off people's table. I've tried to bring more food to the table. Our goal is to bring more people into jewelry stores that historically go, I don't want to buy a diamond for various reasons, whether it's an eco reason that they have or a social reason, everyone's seeing blood diamond or it's whatever the reason they didn't want to do it. Hopefully we now open them up through lab grown diamonds and the jewelry we offer for them to come into the fold and go, wow, now I can, with a clear conscience, buy something from Adamas. I can buy a jewelry item for El Jolie and not worry about where it came from or the practices or who it were. And it gives them the ability to come in. So we want to drive more people into the jewelry stores. We don't want to take the same people in there and go, you buy our stuff and not there. That's not what we want to do. No one wins in that scenario, right? We want to make it where it's a win for everybody.
It's the diamond dream, right? And that's what gets hurt in the process and the beauty of it all. And what was started by the beautiful, amazing natural industry, right? Let it continue and, as you said, bring more people to the stores, and which is what your plan is. You said 5 years, right? 5 years from now, or probably maybe a little sooner, who do you think or see or predict as a leader taking stand or taking the leadership in standardizing the pricing?
That's a great question. I mean, my crystal ball broke in 1986, so it's a tough one for me to refer to that. It's obviously we want to make sure as a company, Adamas One, we want to make sure that we're in the forefront and we're a leader, like I said, where we set the tone and the pace for others follows. And we think we have a good path to get there, right? It's not going to be easy. Nothing's ever easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So we want to take on that responsibility, and we want to aggressively go into the industry and help everybody else as well. I don't want to dominate the industry by putting other people down or holding them down. That's not a win-win. It has to be a win where we're helping everybody else and really coming together and offering products to a consumer base that's happy with it, right? The tension, the adversity between mine and lab grown, it needs to stop. Like, we need to work together and be, good neighbors. Even though we both sell diamonds, we should have a different category in industry and subset of clientele, which I think that's starting to establish itself. And for me, if I was a mine diamond, whether it's manufacturer, distributor, whatever way in that chain, I would want to make sure that lab-grown diamonds prices were as high as they could be. Because the more disparity between mine diamonds and lab-grown diamonds pricing, the more people are going to come to here for the value add. If we're here and here, then it's I love the mine because traditionally mined and I love it and it comes from earth and it's more natural, right? And they're gonna continue to stay there. When it's here and here, people go, I've got $5,000 to spend on my engagement ring. Am I gonna get my fiance a 3/4 carat GSI1 mine diamond, or am I gonna get her a 2 carat GVS one stone, right? So their mindset is like, I can get over double the bang for the buck and a cleaner diamond. I'm going to go here. If it was the difference of $500, a little closer, I don't think you'd see more people gravitating towards a lab grown. This is just basic business for me. So I look at, again, as a mine diamond guy, like, I want the pricing to be as high as I could in lab grown and not pushing it down. I would do just the opposite.
Your thoughts about the plans or strategies, specifically the marketing strategies that you're planning to create more consumer awareness, marketing?
Complete market dominance. No, I'm a big marketing guy. I mean, you can look historically at my previous companies and my career. I'm a pretty big marketing guy. I love social media. I love the influencer structure. We have a very, very strong network of influencers from here to here and everything in between. So I think we're going to be very aggressive with it. You'll see a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes with our products on. You'll see us on the red carpets, pretty much everywhere. So we work very closely with our PR companies and our IR companies as well to make sure that we get out there in the forefront of this industry. So you'll start seeing, whether it's in Vogue, Cosmo, you'll start seeing articles, Forbes, you'll start seeing articles, hopefully, right? You'll start seeing articles referencing Adamas or influencers that we've given jewelry to, or they're wearing our jewelry, they might have purchased or whatever it is. You'll start seeing those references, I think, start coming in Q2, a lot in Q3 as well. And it's like we said, how do you educate the consumer, especially when you're putting a luxury item in a space that doesn't have a lot of luxury alternatives? Right? If we look at that race to the bottom, well, everyone's cutting quality. We're the opposite. We want to increase the quality as much as we can because we want to go and give the consumers an extremely high-end luxury lab-grown diamond product. And that's always our goal. So again, based on influencers, getting people out there, pop-ups, red carpets where people can touch and feel and really associate quality with Adamas One, and that's our goal. So as far as a marketing plan, I mean, it's always, my marketing plans are always like liquid. They're very fluid because you have to, if I say what our marketing plan was a year ago to now, well, markets shift and adjust and change. whether it's an acceptability of the product. So now, or someone else, they've been much more educated and accepting of the product. So, okay, I don't have to do as much focus on that. I can focus more on this. So it's always a fluid movement based on, here's a time. When we go to market, I look at and evaluate where the market structure is for the industry as a whole, where the current trends are, where we think our best approach is to go and get the consumers that we want to attract for our products. And we'll have different lines, we'll offer different associate from here to here as well. So we want to make sure that we aggressively go in that space. So my goal is always, and I always use this example, I say Kleenex. When everyone asks for a Kleenex, they don't say, can you give me a tissue? In America, they can you give me a Kleenex? Or do you want a pop or a cola? It's always, can I have a Coke? Right? It's when you become that iconic reference for whatever the category or the brand is, you won from a branding standpoint. We want to make sure that when anybody talks about lab-grown diamonds, they go Adamas One Diamonds or El Jolie, that we're used as that Kleenex reference for this industry. And that's our goal. And that comes through years of marketing and strategic, well-planned, and orchestrated marketing.
Like for search engine, they would say, Google it. They wouldn't say, go on to a search engine.
I always like interviews like this that are natural flowing. And like you came up with questions when we talk and it further, and I love that. Or look, you said this, can we get more granular? I love that style to me, because usually people come in with I'm standing up and here's my delivery, dop, 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 dop. I can't, it's like they go through their laundry list of stuff that they wrote out. For me, it's, as a CEO of a company, you have to be able to free think and talk about your product and your company, and you have to have passion about it. Right? This has been my life since I acquired the assets in 2019. I didn't know anything about this industry other than I bought a lot of diamonds for my wives or girlfriends, right? Over time, and some for myself. Other than that, I didn't know much. And so I'm a deep dive through immersion. I learned through immersion. And I've been very lucky. I have a great team with me, right? From our C-level team, lower management, employees, from A to Z. I've been very blessed to surround myself with a lot of really talented people that are a lot smarter than me. And that's been a key to success for a lot of the companies, for my companies. And I pride myself and I call them, they're my friends, and it's a family. And we really try to hold true to that from our company standpoint.
I could sense that from the conversation with Peter and Jessica. So amazing. When a team works together as a family, magic happens.
Peter and Jessica have been with me both for over 20 years. With me and friends. I've been friends with Peter and with Jessica forever. So I think, just like I said, always surround yourself with good people and treat them extremely well. Help everybody you can in life and expect nothing in return.
Thank you for saying that. And you also mentioned total immersion. So do you watch a lot of Tony Robbins, or is it just like...
No, I don't watch it. No, I don't read books. Unfortunately, you just never say that, right? Especially when I have kids. Obviously, kid, read your books. I just, my philosophies and everything are just for myself. I'm an old person. I'm not that young. So I've learned a lot. I've been through a lot in life. And I think there's a lot of important things and key values. And number one is always help people. We're here to help each other. It costs a couple hours of your time to help someone, or a couple dollars. You can always make more. You can't get more time, but it helps them out. And that's the best thing going forward, I think. But Tony Robbins, that's pretty funny. A guy that worked for me years ago was his main guy.
As the CEO, any advice that comes up right now in your mind, in addition to helping people and making your team as your family, anything else that you learned from challenges that you feel is super important for other CEOs in this industry or any industry?
You're always going to face adversity and challenges, and you're going to make a ton of mistakes. Everyone does. Right? I can look back, and no one has a crystal ball, but you can look back and you always have 20/20 vision when you look back and go, if I change this. But the reality is you should learn from everything, right? You learn what to do and what not to do. More often what not to do. And I tell everybody, learn from everybody that's around you as well. I've worked for different companies and different people, and I learned what to do and what not to do from them as well. Learn from everybody you can, and always have respect for them in whatever it is you learn. And then take it and apply it in your own life or in your own company. I always tell everybody, I learned from this company and apply it to the next one. I had this conversation with one of my best friends that's worked with me for, I don't know, 15, 18 years. And we talked about the first company that I took public. He's like, oh, there was a lot of mistakes on that one. I go, I made every mistake as a green CEO in a public market that you could. I didn't know anything. You know, when it came to filings, Q's and K's, I just know they were 2 letters in the alphabet, right? I had no knowledge base. I'd never been educated. But like I said, I learned through immersion. And over 2.5 years, I became an expert within that marketplace. I started to understand it and learn it, right? And when we talked about it today, I said, look, if I didn't have that company, the last company I just did, which was Ammo, right? Ammo would have never existed because I learned so much here and I applied it there. And it was a great success for all of our employees in our network. We did extremely well out that. So I think it's important to don't give up, right? Learn from the challenges and learn from the mistakes and adjust. It's a mistake only if you repeat it, right? It's a learning experience the first time it happens. If you continually repeat that mistake, it is a mistake then, right? Learn, adjust, keep going. You have to have thick skin and tenacity. Don't give up on your dream, right? Hire to your weakness and partner to your weakness. If you hire someone that has the same strength as you, you're going to butt heads like this in your company and it doesn't work. Hire to your weakness. Like, I'm not the financial guy as far as the numbers and accounting, but I can't stand it. So I hire and partner with a CFO who's now a very good friend of mine, but that CFO that's his part of the business. I don't interfere with him and go, oh, did you look at the numbers this way? It's like, that's not my job. I let him run that aspect of the company, right? We round table. It's very important to listen to what everybody has to say within your company, right? Everybody should have an equal voice. I might be the CEO, but if you look at my business card, it says CEO/janitor.
Yeah.
I roll up my sleeves. Wherever there needs help within the company, I have to be able to help and be willing to help. And that's very important as a CEO. You set a tone and a pace for others to follow. If you come in at noon or this and that, and you're tired and you leave, no, my day starts at 4:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it goes till midnight almost every day. You have to put in the time, right? Let everybody have a say. Everyone has good opinions. And one of the big things I think I learned over the course is no matter what position someone is in within the company, they need to know what the company does or what the products are and have an elevator pitch for everyone, because you're a representative of that company and the product. No matter what you do or where you are, someone's always go, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I work for a company, Adamas One. What's that? Oh, we make lab-grown diamonds. You have to understand, well, what's a lab-grown diamond? That's a synthetic diamond. No. We make a real diamond. Chemically, physically, optical, same as a mine diamond. The only thing is ours comes out of a lab, theirs comes out of the earth. Oh, really? You have to have enough information and knowledge. You're not going to be the salesman for the company. You're not running the company, but you should make sure that everyone within your organization understands and knows your 30-second or 1 minute elevator pitch and the do's and don'ts of what your product is or products are and what they aren't. Very important, right? To educate and have everyone have a working understanding and knowledge base of what the company is, because they're always a representative of the company. And no matter what, everyone asks, oh, so what do you do for a living? No matter where you are, you have to be able to articulate what the company is. Don't give up, educate, listen to everybody, and learn. I think that's the most important things.
And you mentioned about the team, right? Everybody on the team being able to share and tell exactly what they're doing. Have you read Ray Dalio? Because you were mentioning about everybody in the team, the person who wrote Principles. And I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I've read in his book. And when you said, whoa, CEO/janitor, Ray Dalio's book, Principles, really amazing, impacted me a lot.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Yeah, so like I said, I don't read a lot of books. I need to. My time is spent learning. And I don't learn much out of a book other than when I was in school. Obviously, I did. I like learning, just like I said, through immersion. So I trial and error. I'm one of those trial and error CEOs, right? I sit down with our science team, even though they're talking way over my head, and I get the base and understanding knowledge. And for me, I can listen, understand, and then I can try to add input where it's needed, right? I think it's important because I can come in from the outside into a group with a clear head. I don't have emotional attachments to the employee or the product. So as a consultant, I'm saying, and you can come in and adjust stuff and go, oh, why didn't you do that? Or that it's much easier to adjust when you come in with a clear head and without the attachments and look at something from a logical standpoint. Very important. One, never run your business out of emotion. Emotion is a very dangerous thing in business. You know, people lead with emotion, whether it's anger. I mean, you've heard the same thing. If you write a nasty email, put it in draft mode, go back in an hour, reread it, and then make your decision if you're still going to send it forward. Very important. Don't act out of emotion in business. There's a lot of just basic understandings that people should, adhere to when you're running a company. And people get their egos and pride, and you watch people as they start making money, and also their ego and the pride are here, and they're rude to employees or other people. It's not a good philosophy and way to have life. I mean, the same people you see coming up the ladder, you see going back down the ladder. One of my wise mentors told me that years and years ago, and I listened to it, and it's true.
Would love to know more.
My life is good. I got 3 kids. I got younger kids. I started late. I'm very fortunate. I'm very strict with my kids, but I have very good kids. Do well in school, very good in sports, treat others well, very nice to each other and their friends, and help everybody, which is great. I have a lot of horses, tons of animals. Got lots of animals. But life is good. I mean, I work. I love working. I box. So I have a couple unplugs, so I still fight. And then I love to cook. So everyone, you have to have an unplug in life where you can just pull back. Everything that happens in the outside world where this business just goes away. You can focus on something. Start to finish is always good, right? You can start, like if you're going to wash a car, start it, finish it. You see immediate results. So immediate gratification. Same thing with cooking for me it's a great unplug. And then for me, it's giving to other people and watching them enjoy it. It's a great gift. Like, oh, you like the food? So you always have to have unplugs, right? Have a stress relief and an out relief, and make sure. I think it's a great philosophy. It's difficult to teach, and it's very hard for people to put into action. Is live in the now, right? And I'm sure you're familiar with that. I live completely in the now. I don't worry and stress about the future. I think most of people spend their life, 99% of their life is worrying about stuff that never happens, right? And this time, like us talking, the surrounding, like I'm at a restaurant, I don't get to enjoy the conversation or the food or the atmosphere, the music. Those are moments you'll never have again. Enjoy every breath. Stop worrying about the next one or lamenting on the ones you already had. The past is already done. Learn from it and adjust. Don't worry about the future, right? There's nothing wrong with planning and having different alternative plans, but living your life of fear of things that you think are going to happen, which never do, don't. Enjoy the now, right? And know that everything that happens in life, right? And you've been through this, everyone has. Oh my gosh, this is the end of the world for me, right? It's a mountain it's Mount Everest. It's going to crush me. I can't get over it. Usually whatever that problem was, when 2 years down the road, when you look back at it, even if you remember that problem, which usually you don't even recall it because it wasn't that big of a deal in your life, but at that time it was. When you look back and you realize that mountain was only a speed bump to slow you down and keep you on the right path of life. And that's important to know because that comes to the learning of everything. If something happens, handle it immediately if you can. If you can't handle it, stop worrying or getting upset about it. It's already done and there's nothing you can do. Keep going on in life. Every page in our book is written. Just keep letting the pages turn and enjoy every page.
Wow. Profound things. You were mentioning maybe titles of books and you say you don't read. Whoa. All the points that you said about, being in the now, so many authors were coming up in my mind, especially Eckhart Tolle. And yeah, when you're here in Mumbai, we will certainly be talking about MMA boxing because I've also started training.
Oh, you did? What do you train?
So my husband is a fitness freak and I like doing squats a lot. I would about 2 years back, I would say I'm a squats superstar. That is just way of inspiring myself in the family. He recently did an entire 2 months course in MMA, like with a private trainer. that was one of our reasons for going to Goa.
And then what did he train in MMA? So is he a striker? Did he do jujitsu? What is he like doing?
Yeah, all of them. Jiu-jitsu and grappling. So I went there only, I think, twice. We did a video with Bonnie, the trainer. So it's on our Instagram. I'll probably send you the link. It was actually a skit we did to promote the work of the boxer. But overall, it was life transforming for him. He being himself a fitness freak, what he discovered during those sessions. I mean, I was like, okay, next time I'm certainly joining when we're coming back. So,
Oh, that's fantastic. I tell everybody, so I taught boxing, I had a boxing gym, I still fight. And for me, when you talk about that unplug, it's the number one stress reliever on the planet, right? Like working out, getting the oxygen, moving everything through your body is fantastic. For me, boxing, because you're always learning. No matter what age you are or whatever skill level you're at, it doesn't matter if you're a world champion, you're constantly bettering your art, right? And when you get in and you're hitting, you're constantly, your job is to push yourself past what you mentally think you can do. Because your mind, your only limitation is usually your mind, right? You can push past where you go, I think I'm done. No, you can push past it, right? You can go further than you think you can. And then when you're actually in the ring, whether it's sparring or fighting, you can't think about anything but the fight itself, because as soon as your mind goes somewhere, whoa, you get hit immediately. So you always have to stay focused on what you're doing. So in every aspect in the training of boxing or jiu-jitsu or MMA, where you're focused on learning and your abilities and getting better, everything else in the world just goes away, right? And it's a great, like I said, you have to have things in your life, whether it's reading, right? Meditation's phenomenal, playing a sport, tennis, golf, whatever it is, you have to have something that's a pullback, that's healthy for yourself mentally and physically, that gives you time to just get away from the hectic everyday life that you're going through. It's very important. And that's great that your husband does MMA and then you like it too. That's fun.
Yeah, it was inspiring. I thought I should as well. So next time, for sure, when we're there. And yeah, we work out at home. He's more regular. I'm not. I'm planning to. This is the year.
Oh, this is the year. It's everyone's New Year's resolution.
Right. What are your thoughts on New Year resolutions?
They're great. It should be an everyday resolution. You know, I always, you hear that philosophy. It's like, it's someone that says, I'm going to start tomorrow. No, don't start tomorrow. Start now. And it's hard for working out. Everyone's like, oh, I'm too tired. As soon as you start your workout, you're not tired anymore, right? It wakes you up. Your endorphins start going. The oxygen just starts flowing. So I think having a goal is great, right? But having a goal without a plan is a dream. So if you're going to set goals, make sure that you have a plan associated with those goals so they become a reality. Otherwise, you're just dreaming, right? Because a goal without a plan is, like I said, just a dream. So make sure that I'm going to work out. Well, you set it, I'm going to do A, B, C, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to do this, and set it down and do it. No matter what happens, like our employees that say every hour, everybody's got to get up and walk around, take a break, do 20 push-ups, get up and do something, break from the desk, get up and move and breathe in life, right? I think it's important. So when we talk about New Year's resolutions, right, have a plan for that goal and that resolution and follow through with it as long as you can. It's kind of fun to have someone else, like one of your friends with the same goal or resolution, because then you work together and you push each other to make sure it happens, right? And you support each other. Because a lot of days you're like, I don't want to do this. And your friend's like, hey, guess what? I'm coming over to pick you up. We're going here. Like, okay, I guess I'm going. And it vice versa. It works very well. So that's my take on New Year's resolutions.
Looking through my notes, I didn't take a look. Anything else that you feel I haven't covered so far?
Oh, I think you were great. We covered a ton.
During our discussion, the thought struck me about FTC. If you would like to share your thoughts about the FTC, about lab-grown diamonds.
So when we talk about the FTC, obviously in 2018, when they came out and they said, look, a diamond's a diamond. It doesn't matter if it's comes out of the earth or a laboratory. If it's chemically, physically, optically what a diamond is composed of, then it's a diamond, right? And people use a reference of a cultured pearl as a pearl. I like to use the reference, and I heard it through one of my friends, so it's not original, that and I baby born through IVF. Is it not a human or a baby, right? My youngest daughter was an IVF baby, and she's a human. Sometimes she acts like an alien, but she's still a human, right? So it's the same thing. Even though a diamond was created in a lab, it's a diamond, right? We make a real diamond at Adamas One. So I think the FTC, what they came out and said, really substantiated and set a tone that now took us. You always look at where the yardsticks or where the important, things that happen and hurdles within the industry. I think in 2018, when the FTC came out and verified that, hey, it's not a synthetic, it's not moissanite, it's not cubic zirconia, it's not glass, it's a diamond, right? I think that was a really big win for the industry. And I think going forward, when we position it, originally, it has to be called a lab-grown diamond, though. Originally, 2000, the 90s, 2000s, people were more objective. I don't want to say lab-grown. I want it to say lab-grown. I'm proud of our industry. I'm proud of Adamas One and our company and what we manufacture. So I think it's important that we differentiate ourselves, right? Mine diamond's mine diamond, lab-grown's lab-grown. And I think it's, like we talked about in the earlier conversation, was educating the consumer in the right way and being honest with them. I think it's critical and very important. And I think that the FTC has made some good strides for the industry, and we'll see how it goes. There's lobbyists out there trying to do different things. It's a lot of chatter and a lot of static. Time will tell everything. Just stick to your guns and do what's right.
Thanks. And your concluding remarks, your thoughts, in conclusion, everything that you would like to share to the audience watching this video and listening to this podcast on Lab Grown Diamonds Magazine.
In summation, I look at, for Adamas One, I like to bring more people into the fold as consumers of our El Jolie and our product base, whether it's a wholesaler, a consumer, et cetera. And I think you're gonna have fun watching us grow. We have a aggressive, schedule and business plan ahead of us, and I think we're gonna be successful in what we do. And the more support we have, the better. And I thank you all. And I thank you. This was a great interview. It was fun. I talked way too much, but it was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your thoughts, insights, future plans. All the very best with your amazing plans that you have for health, family, office family, and home family, your personal fitness, and everything in between. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless. We'll speak soon. I'll see you in Mumbai.
Yeah, see you in Mumbai.